Hey everybody, we are on pong15. Let me run to show you where we were with pong14. So I hit run, and when it goes off the end, we hit the space bar to continue. Space bar to continue. But that'll continue on. So basically, this particular lesson, let me change that to 15. This particular lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to get the game to declare a winner at 10 and then be able to reset, okay? So let's get started. Okay, we're gonna come down here. In line 61, I created a variable called ball stopped, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do here, very similarly, I'm gonna create another variable called new game, and we are going to say that is false, okay? So new game is false. So we're gonna say, well, you know, when one of the scores is equal to 10, then we're gonna set that new game to true, and then we're gonna do some logic to get that to work, okay? So the new game is false. Now, where we need to see if somebody has won or not is down here after the score has been increased and the ball stopped is true. Okay, so if the ball stopped is true, here's where we need to check to see if somebody has won. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say if right score is equal to 10 or left score is equal to 10, then that's an old basic command. Then is a colon in Python, okay? Then we're gonna set the message to message equal to game over, and then press N for new game, okay. Now, I had, when I was, setting up these lessons, I had it where you press space for a new game. It didn't play as well as I like, so I'm gonna show you how you code up the N button for a new game, okay? So, basically the message here is this, okay, if the score is this. And then we're gonna come up here and we're gonna create a new game. So we're gonna say, if event.key is space, then we do all this stuff, but for the N key. So I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm going to paste this right here. Oops, gotta worry about how things are. Okay, so we're saying if event key is K underscore N, happens to be lowercase, okay? Then basically we're resetting everything, and then we got our message. Okay, so we're close, So let's run this. Run the module. It's gonna take a little bit. We're gonna head to space bar, space bar, space bar. It's gonna take a little bit to win this game because we're gonna get all the way to 10. Maybe I'll speed up this video in the video. 5, 6. 6 to 6, why it's a tight game. 7. Man, I tell you what, I play pickleball. Pickleball is a dynamite game if you haven't played that yet. Okay, so it says, game over, press N for new game, okay? Now, I'm gonna hit N, and it does a new game, but notice how my score didn't reset, okay? So we're gonna take a look at how to reset that score after the game. So, there's a few things that we need to do to get this to work right, okay? One is we need to set left score and right score left score equals 0, right score equals 0. Okay, so those will set those two scores, and that'll work pretty well, I think. So let's run this. Let's see if there's some bugs in here. Okay, so we're gonna run this, run module. And I want you to notice, I'm sitting here playing, but if I hit the space bar, notice how this ball just keeps resetting because I can hit that space bar at any time, and that doesn't make for very good gameplay, does it? Okay. Similarly, I can hit the N key and that'll keep resetting everything, and it resets the score. So that's not very good either, okay? So what we need to do here is we need to leverage this ball stopped and also this new game. Okay, so we need the new game variable and we need this ball stop variable. And first off, let's look at what we have down here. Okay, so if the ball stopped is true, then that's great, right? So let's see what we can do with that. So what we're going to do here is we are going to say in here, if the event key is equal to space, then we need to check to see if ball stopped is equal to true. Oops, I didn't do that right. True. If the ball stopped equals to true, that's the only time when I want this stuff to be able to happen, okay? And similarly, I want the same thing to happen on this N button. So ball stopped equals true. Then I want this to happen. Okay, so the only time that we can reset the ball is if the ball is stopped. Okay, so let's run that. Run. Okay, so now I hit the space bar and nothing happens unless I've gone off the end. See how nicely that works? Similarly, if I hit the N key doesn't work unless I'm pressing this, unless the thing is at the press space to continue. If I hit the N key, then it does work. And the reason it works is because ball stopped is true. Okay, what we need to do is we need to check to see if this variable new game is true, right? New game. So we're going to say if ball stopped is true and new game equals true, okay, then we want all this stuff to happen. And the space bar, we want if the ball stopped is true and new game equals false, okay? Because we don't want somebody hitting the N key when they should be hitting the space bar, okay? So new game is false, okay? So that should work pretty well, except we need to make sure that new game is set correctly down below. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so if the right score is 10 or the left score is 10, then the message is this. And here we need to say new game equals true. Okay, new game is true. And we also need to make sure that over here, right here, new game is true, so we need to set new game back to false. Okay, because we are inside this if loop, or this if statement. Okay, so the ball stopped, and somebody has a score of 10, So then we do all this stuff, and then we're setting a new game and we start the game over, okay? And similarly up here, the ball stopped and it's giving us a spacebar message, and new game is still false because we're not greater than 10. And then we do all this stuff, okay? So let's run, see what we get. Run. Okay, so press space, space, space. 3. Boy, I'm hard at losing this game. Whoops. I'm gonna dodge. It's like a different game here. 8, 9. Okay. Okay, so now it says game over. Now notice if I hit the space bar, nothing happens, and that's what we want. The only time we want a new game to start is when we hit the N key. So if I hit the Q key or any of these other keys, nothing really works. Now if I hit N, hit reset the score, and off we begin again. All right, very cool, right? I think it is. Whew. Phew, okay. So let's see if there's any other things that we possibly need to clean up in here. No, I think that works pretty well. Let me just check my notes real quick. All right, very good. I hope you're all very comfortable with, sort of my teaching method of going through this. I like to talk about what comes into my brain to help you sort of vision, these programs and help you guide your way through them, okay? I know way back in the days, people used to write flow charts and all kinds of stuff, but I don't tend to do that. I tend to write notes on a piece of paper and keep track of stuff. But anyway, that's a little stop into my brain as to how I would write a program like this. So this next lesson, that would be pong15. I think we're going to do a couple more things. When we run this, I want you to notice this spacebar thing is kind of off to the side. And we're going to say we're going to center some of that stuff up. That's kind of cleanup work. And I also noticed that sometimes, we're getting some of these weird errors where the ball catches the side of the paddle and sort of bounces around, okay? We're going to see if we can clean some of that up, okay? So that's what we're going to do on 16. And until then, I'll see you later. Keep coding. Feel free to watch these things and enjoy. All right, bye.